What's up, Tailgaters? My name is Tailgate Nate. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. This is the first time you're clicking on. We've recapped, done everything that I wanted to do, at least talking about last season. So we're going to move ahead to next season, the season that is set to start on August 27th. With the Nebraska Northwestern game is the first game scheduled as of right now, that game in Dublin. But we're going to go ahead and move into off-season content. And of course, what better way to start the offseason content than with a way too early top 25 poll? It's never too early to start talking about college football, in my opinion. But again, it's really early, so don't judge me too harshly. This is just right now where I think teams fall. And this is factoring in the transfer portal. Returning production numbers are out now as well. And it's the post Super Bowl, so we're not going to have any football for a bit, unless, of course, the XFL decides to come back in the spring. But hey, thank you guys for clicking on this video. If you guys do enjoy, please leave a like. Also consider subscribing if you're brand new. If you enjoy this video, you want to see my thoughts on what your favorite team is going to do this season. Of course, I'm going to go through record predictions. I'm going to try to do every single team this year, so we'll definitely see how that goes. And yeah, let's go ahead and dive right on into this way too early top 25 poll. And it is a new season, it's a new poll, so there are going to be some teams that just barely missed it. Of course, no one dropped out because it is a way too early poll, but there are some teams that just missed the cut. And I just want to see a little bit from this team in spring practice and their spring game. I just want to see a little bit from these teams here. But Miami, definitely one of those teams that is in contention for a top 25 spot. Of course, getting Mario Cristobal as the head coach, and then Trevor Van Dyke playing at quarterback. I just think Miami's got a little bit of work to do. Same with Tennessee. We've seen what they can do under Josh Heupel. Now they got to start picking some things up a little bit, right? Maybe getting some marquee wins in their next year. Wisconsin and Penn State, two Big Ten teams that are not in my top 25. But again, both teams are close. Wisconsin, they're going to need to get things going, right? They're going to have to improve their play this year. And then for Penn State, we know what this team is capable of. We know they have the talent to do something great. And you could even throw Minnesota in there as a next team up with Tanner Morgan coming back as well. And then the last team there, Coastal Carolina. Of course, Grayson McCall coming back. A lot of weapons surrounding him at the Coastal Carolina program. We'll see what happens with them going forward. But to get into my top 25 for next year, South Carolina sitting right here at number 25. This team, as of right now, in my opinion, one of the biggest winners of the transfer portal that's out there. Look at how they played last year. They played really well with a quarterback that, or with multiple quarterbacks that, well, just aren't necessarily that great. I know, of course, Zeb Nolan was at North Dakota State, or the other guy was at South Dakota State. Might have been Zeb Nolan. I forget. Or not South Dakota State, North Dakota State. Sincerest apologies, but yeah, like they didn't really have a true number one quarterback going into the year after their starter got hurt, and now they do. They're getting Spencer Rattler, Austin Stogner from the transfer portal. Just lots of big winners in the transfer portal for the South Carolina team. I think it's going to benefit them heavily. I can't wait to watch South Carolina seemingly improve. And again, they already have a lot of good players. Kevin Harrison running back. They have a lot of good players in the front seven. South Carolina is going to be exciting to watch next year. Cincinnati's at number 24, and they're at 24 for this simple reason. A, they made the college football playoff last year. I couldn't justify leaving them out, and you can never count out Luke Fickell. He's still got some big games on the schedule. They have a game against Arkansas. They have a game against Indiana as well. We all know how bad Indiana was last year. In fact, they were my most disappointing team of 2021, 2022. But again, you can never count out Cincinnati. They had to be on this list here. Kentucky right here in at number 23. I like what this Kentucky team did last year. Now they got to repeat and, again, maybe even get some marquee wins in there to slide up higher. But, again, I like where this Kentucky program is headed. They're going to stay here at number 23. 22 is Iowa. And this year for Iowa, well, it's going to be the same conversation, right? Find a quarterback that works. Spencer Petras, not really the guy, in my opinion. Like, don't get me wrong. I think Spencer Petras is okay and all, but he's not great. He's not going to be a quarterback that's going to drive you. He's not going to be a quarterback that's going to go win you a Big Ten championship or anything. That defense should still be formidable as it is pretty much every single year for Iowa, but lots to figure out on the offensive side of the ball. But that defense makes them a top 25 team as of right now. And then Ole Miss picked up a huge transfer with Matt Corral leaving. They go snag Jackson Dart out of USC. So he will be that quarterback for Ole Miss moving forward, and that is a huge win for Ole Miss. You could even argue now with Jackson Dart, they should be higher than 21st. But I believe I made this poll after Jackson Dart announced his transfer decision. So Ole Miss sitting up here at number 21. They got a lot of weapons surrounding Jackson Dart. And again, defensive improvement. It improved last year. Let's see if it can improve again to provide an even better 2022 after coming off a historic season for the program in 2021. All right, moving on now to the top 20. I got BYU sitting right here at number 20. Yes, the BYU Cougars sitting right here at number 20. I really like this team moving forward. This is the team that's loaded with talent. I know Tyler Algier is gone, and there are some other players leaving this program as well that are really good. But they have some players coming in by way of the transfer portal that should give them a very nice boost. And they have some returning talent that should be really good for them as well. So I'm excited to see what BYU does this offseason. They are sitting right now at number 20. Number 19 is Houston. And Houston probably could end up being the favorites in the American Athletic Conference this upcoming year. Lots of talent coming back for this Houston team. This is going to be a really exciting team to watch moving forward. I can't wait to watch and see how Houston does this offseason. Number 18 is USC. Now, again, there's going to be skepticism surrounding this USC program, but I feel like putting them at 18 is a safe bet. Of course, Lincoln Riley coming in as head coach. You have Caleb Williams following him from Oklahoma to be that quarterback. They're getting a lot of wide receiver transfers to come in for USC as well. But they also have some key guys leaving, and that involves Brew McCoy leaving this program as well. In fact, he is still in the transfer portal last time I've heard. But USC getting Lincoln Riley was huge. Getting his coaching style over there at USC, I think, will be a good boost for them. We'll see if USC can finally start to put things together this year. Definitely going to be one of the favorites in the Pac-12. But again, what is their expectation? Their expectation this first year with Lincoln Riley is going to be huge, but can they match it? It's my question for USC right now. I'm going to slot them at number 18, but we'll see how this team looks in the offseason. Number 17 is Oklahoma, and there's a lot of teardown at Oklahoma. And I debated about switching Oklahoma or USC. I ended up going with Oklahoma in front. Of course, they have a new head coach as well with Lincoln Riley going to USC. They are going to have Brent Venables, the old Clemson the defensive coordinator, come in and be that head coach for Oklahoma. So what does that mean for Oklahoma? The defense should be pretty solid for Oklahoma this year. But again, on the offense, there's still a lot to figure out. They are getting Dylan Gabriel, a transfer from UCF, who's a gunslinger. And he's going to put up some fantastic numbers wherever he goes. It's just his style of play. We'll see what he gets to work with here in Oklahoma as the offseason progresses on forward. Arkansas in here at number 16. And Arkansas was a really, really exciting team last year. Of course, everyone thought Arkansas was going to improve, but no one expected Arkansas to have the season that they have. Now, Arkansas should continue to grow with Sam Pittman at the helm. Arkansas should be a team that continues to get better and better year in and year out. This is a very big year for Arkansas, in my opinion. I know last year seemed pretty big. But last year, the expectation was to make a bowl game, and they surpassed that by a long shot. This year's expectations are going to be a lot higher on this Arkansas team. Can they perform to those? It'll be interesting to see what Arkansas has moving forward. I believe KJ Jefferson is staying as the quarterback of Arkansas. So let's see what he gets to work with moving forward. Of course, is losing his top target in Treylon Burks. He's going to be a first-round pick. Arkansas's got some things to figure out in the offseason, but I really like the talent on this team moving forward. So there is 23. There's my bottom 10 in my top 25. Now moving on up now into the top 15. Number 15, I have NC State. This is a really interesting team moving forward because I've seen NC State, I believe it was ESPN's list that came out, had them at 8th. So ESPN writers really, really high on this team. And I can absolutely see why. They have a lot of talent coming into this offseason. They have a lot to work with. There's a lot of good things happening at this NC State program right now. We're just going to have to see how it progresses and how it goes forward for NC State. And maybe they can jump up higher than 15th before the start of the season. Number 14, I have Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, of course, getting Keaton Slovis to be that starting quarterback, a transfer over from USC, which made USC go after, of course, Caleb Williams. And he'll be replacing the Heisman finalist Kenny Pickett. Slovis, we know the talent that is there. Just can he perform sort of a season like he did in 2020 for Pittsburgh here? But he's going to have a lot of weapons around him, including the Biletnikoff winner, Jordan Addison. There are a ton of other weapons surrounding him. And that defense for Pittsburgh was good this year. It was underrated, that defense in Pittsburgh. So the defense, I think, can take some steps up. We'll see if they can do that in the offseason. But I like where Pittsburgh is at right now. Pitt, the Panthers, at number 14. Michigan State riding in here at number 13. And what a surprise they were last year, right? Mel Tucker doing everything right for Michigan State. One thing except the pass game, right? The passing defense. I will even add to that as well. So who's your quarterback for next year for Michigan State? They're going to have to find someone to replace Kenneth Walker, and they're going to hope that it's this transfer from Wisconsin by name of Jalen Berger. They're going to hope that he is the answer to their, quote, Kenneth Walker problem, who fits in at running back. And then wide receiver-wise, they have some talent coming back there as well. Reed, Naylor, I believe one of the two is coming back, if not both of them for sure. Michigan State is going to be a team that's going to compete next year. They will compete with some of the top teams in the Big Ten. Again, your Ohio States, your Michigans, like they did this year, but they got some things to work on in the offseason. But overall, very nice talent on this team. Wake Forest is up here at number 12. And hey, hear me out. I think Wake Forest has one of the sleeper Heisman picks in Sam Hartman. Yeah, Sam Hartman had a terrific season last year, did throw a lot of interceptions, but that is something that he can clean up in the offseason. He's going to have some weapons coming back for him as well. And Wake Forest, a team that, again, was a major surprise last year. I don't think anyone saw Wake Forest having that good of a year last year. This is a program that has been on the up and up. If you remember, just a couple years ago, they had a pretty good season like this one they put together as well. Just couldn't make the championship game because Clemson was in the way. But now Clemson wasn't in the way. Wake Forest got their time to shine, and they're going to have a shot coming in next year to repeat and get back to the ACC title game. So interesting scenario for Wake Forest. Let's see what they do. And Oregon is at number 11. I'm not quite sure what to think about this Oregon team yet, but they're getting Bo Nix, the transfer from Auburn, in at quarterback. Of course, getting a new head coach and Dan Lanning. While they're losing a lot of defensive talent, that defense should still be really good for Oregon next year with Dan Lanning's schemes. But it's the offense, right? It's Bo Nix. What can he bring to this Oregon team? And is he going to be better? Is he going to be more of the guy than Anthony Brown was? Because Anthony Brown, again, at times just was struggling, right? Did not look the best. I believe that Bo Nix can change that at Oregon. But again, there are a lot of people skepticizing how much better Bo Nix really is than Anthony Brown. So Oregon going to be an interesting team to watch in the offseason, but they are at number 11. In fact, they get an early homecoming when they have to play Georgia. Yeah, they have to play Georgia next year. That's not going to be an easy one, but should still be a fun game to watch. That's a week 1 game on the neutral field. Moving into the top 10, Oklahoma State racks up here at number 10. I know they're losing their defensive coordinator, Jim Knowles, but I just love the talent that is on this team right now and what they did last year. Coming into this year, I don't think they can necessarily repeat that, but Oklahoma State does have the potential to be a top 10 team all year long next year. They're slotting in here at number 10. Number 9 is at Baylor, and you want to talk about talent on Oklahoma State? Look at the talent that's on Baylor's roster. A plethora of teams or a plethora of fantastic players on this Baylor roster. Who starts at quarterback? That's going to be a big thing for Baylor. But that defense last year was really good. We're going to see if they can repeat that feat next season as well. But I really like what Dave Aranda has done with this Baylor program. And I think Dave Aranda can get this Baylor program back to the way that they were playing back in like 2014, 2015, when they were competing for a spot in the college football playoff. I really like what Baylor's done. I really like what Dave Aranda has done. That turnaround was legendary. They deserve a spot in the top 10 as of right now. And so does Michigan. You finally knock off your rival in Ohio State. Jim Harbaugh just recently signed a contract extension, as he should have, after looking at NFL jobs, and made the college football playoff, did Michigan. Not only did they beat Ohio State, they won the Big Ten and they made the college football playoff. So it was a very good season for Michigan last year. But again, there are some pieces that are going to be missing. Haskins, I do believe, is gone from this Michigan team. You got the pass rush duo of Hutchinson, Ojabo. Both of those guys are going to be gone. They're going to be first-round picks in the NFL draft. And then who's that quarterback moving forward? I would like to think it's J.J. McCarthy moving forward for Michigan, right? But maybe Cade McNamara comes back. Maybe he sneaks into there in that conversation if he indeed is coming back to this team. Again, I'll read more into that as the season goes along, and we'll get more information on that. But Michigan, definitely high expectations this upcoming year for the Michigan Wolverines and Jim Harbaugh. We'll see if they can deliver. After a disappointing season last year, Clemson is back in the top 10. In my opinion, as of right now, Clemson's at number 7. Look, I know what happened last year, and I know that people are, skeptical about Clemson moving forward, but you can't deny the talent that is on this team. DJ Uiagalelei, lots of young guys lots of veterans on defense leaving, but they have a lot of fantastic young talent at this Clemson program. And yes, being without Brent Venables is going to hurt that defense, but Dabo Swinney is one of the best coaches in America. You can never count him out. And the talent that is on this team moving forward, undeniable. It's fantastic. Clemson deserves a spot in the top 10. I expect them to get things turned around. And hey, who knows? I'll watch the spring game, and maybe Clemson, the Clemson dynasty might be over now. Clemson might be taking a step back, but I don't think so. I think the talent that is on this team is just too good. I think Clemson will turn it around there at number 7. And number 6 is Utah. Man, how about Utah last year, right? Utah was fantastic, and this is going to be a dangerous, dangerous team moving forward. I know they're losing some of their top players, most notably Devin Lloyd. But what they have coming back, Tavion Thomas, that fantastic running back that came onto the scene late for Utah last year. Cam Rising, when he came in, what he did at Utah was outstanding, was unbelievable. He's going to be coming back this year. There's also going to be still some key guys on defense, not named Devin Lloyd, coming back to play for this team next year as well. So Utah, still a team that is going to contend in the Pac-12, and in my opinion, should be Pac-12 favorites moving into next year. They got an early season test against Florida, but as you saw, Florida is nowhere on or close to my top 25, at least as of right now. So for Utah moving forward, this is going to be a very interesting team to watch as well. And they could even be competing for a spot in the college football playoff. I do believe Utah, as of this point, is going to be very good next season. They are at number 6. And now to move into my preseason top 5. It's your usual suspects. What do you expect? I got Notre Dame sitting here at number 5. Marcus Freeman, of course, coming in as head coach. What's going to happen with him if he starts out his career 0-2? I've already seen articles. I've seen a lot of skepticism about Marcus Freeman out there. And my question to that is just why? Why skepticism already? Yeah, I know starting off your coaching career 0-2 is not the best thing. But again, their game to start the season next year is going to be against Ohio State, who I have at number 2, and I'll explain why later. I'll explain why a little bit later here. But Notre Dame got a lot of talent on this team. Some very big transfers coming in as well. Some big recruits coming in for Notre Dame as well. So this is going to be a very, very interesting team moving forward in the next year. How does Marcus Freeman do? Again, I think it's about time Marcus Freeman got his shot to be a head coach somewhere. What better place than Notre Dame? It's going to be very interesting moving forward. And we'll see what Notre Dame can do next year. Texas A&M, what an offseason they have had. I mean, just wow. Look at the talent that's on this team and tell me that they're not a top 5 team. You can't. Look at the recruits that they have coming in. They're going to be beast and insane. If not this year, then definitely next year. But the talent that this team has is overwhelming. It's unbelievable. It's beyond anything I've ever seen. the talent that is on this team, the young talent that is on this team is tremendous. It's outstanding. Texas A&M is going to be really, really good next year. But again, they play in the gauntlet that is the SEC, and of course they have to play Bama sometime next year as well. Haynes King going to come and be that quarterback. How good does he look off of injury with Isaiah Spiller gone? It's going to be Devon Achane at the running back position. They got a lot of nice pieces at wide receiver coming back. That defense is loaded. A lot of good pieces for Texas A&M. I'm really excited to see how this team does in the offseason. Number 3 are your national champions from last season, the Georgia Bulldogs. Of course, they won the national title last year, just about a month ago as of recording this, and they're going to hope to run it back. Stetson Bennett, I believe, coming back as that quarterback for Georgia. And again, not a fantastic quarterback, not a guy that's going to go in the first round of the NFL draft or anything, but he has proven a lot of people wrong. He's proven that he's a solid quarterback and that people need to start putting some respect on his name, because he is not like Stetson Bennett, a good quarterback. He's an above average quarterback, in my opinion. I really do think Stetson Bennett is good. Of course, JT Daniels transferring out, Jermaine Burton transferring out, a lot of players transferring out for Georgia, but the talent that's still on this team is unbelievable. And of course, winning the national title, I had to put in my top 5 for next year. But really, when you look at next year, it really is these top 2 teams, and then the rest is a mystery up to this point. We know what Alabama can do. We've seen it year in and year out. What more do you need me to say? Bryce Young is fantastic. All the wide receivers they're going to have there, I'm sure, are going to be fantastic. They also have Jermaine Burton transferring in from Georgia. He's presumably going to be that number 1 guy. And of course, we know how good Jermaine Burton is. He is fantastic. A lot of good players on the defensive side, led by Will Anderson. Probably going to be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft next year. He's insane. We know what Bama can do. There's no more justification I can give than for me putting Bama at number 1. They just deserve it. The talent that's on this team is insanity. Bama definitely number 1. But the team I'm really interested to watch this year, not just because they're my favorite team, but also we already got a glimpse of what this team is going to be like in the Rose Bowl against Utah, and that's Ohio State. So we saw the offense without Chris Olave, without Garrett Wilson. They have, in my opinion, probably you could argue, besides Bryce Young, the best quarterback coming into next year in CJ Stroud. They definitely have the best wide receiver next year in Jackson Smith and Jigba. What he did against Utah, legendary, insane. It will never be replicated in the Rose Bowl. I can guarantee you that. He's the best receiver coming into next year, a top 10 running back in Travion Henderson. And of course, they're getting Jim Knowles, that defensive coordinator from Oklahoma State. And there's been a lot of coaching shifts at this Ohio State program already. So this is a team moving forward that you didn't make the playoff last year, but there was a young team. You didn't make the Big Ten championship, but again, it's a young team. You still made the Rose Bowl. You still won that as an Ohio State fan. I mean, winning the Rose Bowl is fine with me too. Like, it's one of the, it's the granddaddy of them all, as they call him. So again, I absolutely will take that. But for this Ohio State team moving forward, it's the offense is fine. We know the offense can score at will. It's how does that defense look moving forward? That's the big question for Ohio State, with just the sheer amount of talent that's on this team is unbelievable. And so I have Ohio State at number 2 moving into next year. But there you go. There is my top 25 poll moving into next year, at least as of right now, my post Super Bowl top 25. Tell me what you guys think. Again, this top 25 poll is surely going to change as the season goes along. I'll do one after the spring games, probably like early May, before I do schedule preview predictions, all that good stuff. But hey, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I would appreciate anything. Any help you guys can give me would be much appreciated. And but the most important thing I want you guys to remember is remember to play hard, but tailgate harder. Next couple videos, I'm sure we'll be looking at impact transfers, coaching hires, good things like that. I will talk to all you guys later. Goodbye.